Hey, can you, can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, sorry, Albert. I'm on my iPad for the first time doing a
Oh,
video.
that's fine. People now are just zooming on all sorts of contraptions. I mean,
Yeah,
I have a suspicion like the next like iteration of a Nikon or Canon, they'll have zoom, and then as
yeah,
your photograph. I'm not kidding. Like, who knows what's gonna
yeah, man. It's
But
exhausting.
I know. Well, Roger, it's such a blessing. I'm apologize this taken so long. There's so much going on.
Yeah, no problem.
And it's just, lots of mad, crazy stuff going on. I mean, we've been really busy. Right now we're plowing through. Well, we just submitted an art for application, and we got two more, and then
Nice.
we're done for the rest of the year because you know that's just for Miami, and then we'll wait till next year. But it's just that's a lot of work
Yeah.
because one of the proposals is like three artists, but it's like they are not living in the same area. So like one of them's my friend. She's actually going to leave for Yale sculpture, and then the other guy he's like in Philadelphia, and
Okay.
so and then the third artist she's actually my friend in LA. So it's like
Oh, dang. Yeah.
it's a huge project, but I did email you back. Yeah, the images you sent are fine. Are they actually like fine for us to like use to test print with the ones that you email me,
Um,
or would
you
you
know,
do you have like files that you
those those might be low res ones, but I think I can get you them pretty quickly.
that's fine. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they're
just
all on the hard drive.
you can toss me on like Google Drive or something,
Sure.
like and then I'll just download it off. The thing is, it's a miracle. I UV printing and inkjet printers are awesome, and especially also very heavy like photography. I mean, I'm a painter, photographer, and sculptor, but
Yeah.
photography is really like the basis of everything I do, even with
Sure. Sure.
um, like just my paintings like still like tied to photography. But it's just
Yeah.
incredible. This, I mean, these past 2 years have been awesome, and I've been obviously I'm a social activist too, so I'm kind of busy with a lot of
All good.
stuff there.
Hmm.
And it's just incredible. I'm really grateful for positive changes in the contemporary art world, especially now we have Whitney with a retrospective for Dawood Bay.
Yeah, dude.
Uh, we just finished our African American group show from the Harlem studio here in Utah, which is
Hmm.
very important. So I'm hoping that people will be educated. My background is I'm originally from Brooklyn,
Okay.
so I moved to Salt Lake from Philadelphia. It was a culture shock to me. Sorry, I got
Yeah, I can imagine.
mosquito bites, but it's just a shock because I came from an area that was like 40 to 45% African American. They're like, ain't no homies here type of thing.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think it's important. I think our when I helped to put together the gallery, I want to make sure there was diversity, and that was fairly important. So we have like three African American artists on the roster, and
Nice.
I
Very
mean,
cool.
with pretty good, decent sized roster. I mean, I have to admit, it's still a chunk. Actually, we have a lot of Asian and Asian American artists, but I guess it's not
I think that's
surprising.
important.
Oh, sorry, it was kind of laggy there.
Oh, so yeah, I think that's my fault. I'm sorry. But yeah, yeah, I see. That's great. The representation is great.
It's just not easy. I've tried to even make it. The thing is, you can only do like percentage numbers, but it's just like that doesn't
Yeah,
work really because there are practical things that just, some people want to work with you, some people don't. I mean, it's just, and the thing is, we don't, we're not like a traditional commercial space. Like we're more of a curatorial project space. So it's like some artists want that, some artists want more sales orientation. I'm like, yeah, well, that's not really what we're doing.
yeah,
We're trying to like deal with like critical theory. We're trying to talk a lot about cultural issues that are fairly imperative. We want to have a diversity of visual languages and themes. So, I mean, literally, I'm glad. I mean, we have like 38 artists now, and we're going to
Yeah.
cut it off at 40 because that was the original plan. And I mean, that will allow us to do like group shows. It's nice to have it's like a baseball team. You have a deep roster because museum proposals are the toughest,
Yeah.
especially they want like if you have a big museum space, you kind of need a lot of artists to fill that. So
Sure. Yeah.
it, so yeah, do you want to talk about anything? Like tell me about yourself, like some of the things that you're doing. I know you moved and you had some stuff
Yeah.
you were trying to
Yeah.
deal
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. I was moving into my where I am now actually. My girlfriend's parents' basement actually, because we our daughter was just born a few months ago.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
yeah, thank you, man. So we're just trying to transition, and
Yeah, I
I
know
guess
what
with
it's
things are
like.
pretty much transition now. Yeah, it's a little
Okay.
wild, but it's yeah, but
So
it's
if
working out.
everything goes to plan and we get into the art fair, I might actually get to meet you in person in late August
Awesome,
because
nice.
our gallery will be up in Foreland, which is the Hudson Valley. It's
Yeah,
probably very prestigious, so you might actually hang out with us
nice.
potentially. Um,
Where is it?
it's not a Foreland. Let me see the link. Actually, sorry,
Yeah.
this is going to be a very discursive, relaxed talk. Here,
Oh,
I'll
good man.
post it in. Yeah, I'm not here. This is not a. There's no plans. It's just chilling out. So
Yeah.
that's what we're applied for. We'll get to hear in
Okay,
2 days.
that's exciting, man.
If we get in, I if Bryce
That's
and
good.
I are there. Oh, Bryce is here now. He's the other main
Hi.
curator, and
Hi, nice to meet
actually,
you.
we might actually get to meet you in person. So that'll
Nice.
be
That's exciting.
awesome. And then meet your your new daughter that you have, and your
Yeah.
girlfriend. So, but
Hey, Bryce, how's it going now?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I was checking out your website and the Office Spaces website, and that was something I really liked, the diversity of artists, both like art wise, but also like culturally and ethnically. I think it's great to
yeah.
see that. I'm so glad that you guys reached out. It's pretty
Oh
humbling.
yeah, and I wanted to. I know you were busy with the move, so it was just
Yeah.
anytime. And poor Bryce will have to move pretty soon. I think next
Uh,
year potentially. So he has to go to grad school. So
oh
he
yeah,
could he
that's
could be
good.
closer. He could be closer to you.
It's good.
So
Hey,
y'all. And then
Moving will be
I'm
gross, but
and then I don't know where I'm going for my MFA, but if I'm out on the East Coast, we'll go hang out. I will cook you a dinner or something. You get to check
yeah,
out my
likewise.
interesting food. I mean, Bryce got semi tortured by my lovely cooking, right? You got to experience
it
that
was
on that
fine.
trip. I'm just kidding.
Tortured.
I made him
Bryce,
Chinese
right?
beef stew. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, Chinese beef stew? That sounds good.
Oh yeah, go
Yeah, it
ahead.
was
You were
good.
asking Bryce something.
Where are you going to school for your MFA?
I'm going for art history actually.
Nice.
So I'm
Where?
not an artist. I'm at the U right now, but then for my graduate, I'm not sure yet. I'll be applying
Yeah.
to a bunch of places about like this coming fall.
Nice.
But my top ones are University of Delaware, University of Pittsburgh, and then it kind of trickles down from there. But most of the schools I like still, so I'm gonna try doing like Rutgers and stuff like that. But
Nice.
like all of them, I'll be happy
Very
with.
cool. What about you, Albert? Where? Yeah. No,
I
totally.
don't know quite.
What about you, Albert?
Don't
Yeah.
know. We're gonna find out. So, but I don't apply until next year. So that means it would be the year after. So I still have 2 years.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
obviously I'm applying to like photography, painting, sculpture, and new media. So that is very much like an open season on like where I will end up. Definitely I'll
Yeah,
be
your field is like,
yeah, but MFAs and art history are very, very different. So, but the thing is, the gallery will still continue existing. It's just we'll keep the Salt Lake location, but we'll probably end up doing a lot of like potential pop-up shows, especially if Bryce and I are like close together. We could just meet up and put together things, and that'd be nice because if we did, like places in New York, I mean, we'd be closer, and
Mhm.
obviously, that would work out really well, I think. But we got to be very flexible. This day and age, galleries are doing virtual shows. They're doing some more experimental stuff. But I think more importantly, just as much is museums are changing a lot too in museum practice. Like they're looking at critical race theory. Obviously, the nation's become more
which is good.
polarized, which is sad. And I think right now I'm actually trying to get more involved with like voting rights. That's a important issue that's scary, like
Yeah.
very scary. So, and your work deals a lot with the personal and the public, and I think it's great. Actually, yeah, that'd be great. We can do some of the printing of your work, and then obviously you can send us some of the traditional silver gelatin prints.
Yeah.
And Bryce is going to learn some of that too in the dark room.
Yeah.
So
Exciting stuff,
Yeah, I
man.
don't know anything about that, but it's gonna be super fun. So
yeah, he wants to see the magic in photography. So I assume in your new basement, living quarters, you can do darkroom work, or you kind of have to go outside.
Well, so my so back at home at my mom's, I do, that's where my studio is, my dark room. So that's in that basement. I'm like
Oh, I see.
definitely a basement dweller. Yeah.
Well, I think I actually enjoy it too. Like
I do.
I enjoy being in the basement of my own house, but I also have a lot more room. But I'm usually here because I'm working on a big like honors research project, so I have to be close to the library because I have to access like archival materials very quickly, and my house is like pretty far out. I'm still like a good. I don't drive, so
Yeah.
it's like I'm still a good 40 to 50 minutes. By
It's
by
rough.
Uber it's shorter, and Uber's expensive. So I'm just like it's quicker for me to be like here at the office and then head to the school library. And school library is actually opening up now. So and I
Right.
also do a lot of 3D printing because I'm doing like a lot of sculpting lately, which is combined with my photographic practice. Because artificial intelligence is something that's fairly important. But
Definitely.
it's one of those tools that you have to be careful. It's like it can be used for creative output, but it's also used for surveillance. So
Yeah.
it's like a double-edged sword. But photographic issues, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah, the I've been following your Instagram, and yeah, you've been reading some pretty heavy stuff. I saw the
oh yeah,
recent
my
one.
personal Instagram is going to be where like I will share. Yeah, but I mean
Uh,
it's important. The
yeah,
history of white settler colonialism is terrible, and
yeah,
actually, Rural Peck has a really kick-ass HBO documentary that is very important. I mean, slave not just slavery, but also like just the literal decimation of the indigenous people. Where the very
hmm,
first implementations of genocide on a huge level in the American sphere. But then in the
right,
European sphere, we had the Crusades, which is also another genocidal experiment. Spain, you could argue, was probably the first purveyors of genocide when they kicked out the Moors and the Jews. And
yeah,
yeah, that was definitely genocide. And it was like, there were probably genocides before then, but they were not as clearly defined, or that history is just not as well documented. But we definitely have lots of documentation of church records of those genocides because the Spanish Inquisition arguably did the first archives of doing those genocides slash
Right.
church, right? I mean, it's the church records. So you're
Yeah.
it's incredible the amount of details that they provided and hid, but they preserved for us to look at today. And this is like even before, like a lot of it was just even before, African slavery and other forms of slavery became concurrent. And so,
Yeah.
And I'm just learning so much about it, especially what's terrible is like the Nazi Holocaust was a combination of what's learned from American eugenics. A lot was from this idea of Greco-Roman classical tradition being
Yeah.
literally misinterpreted deliberately, and obviously German mysticism and primitivism. And those were the three factors that brought what was Nazism. And actually, we're seeing that transformed again now with QAnon, the
Yeah.
idea of the magical thinking, primitivism, white supremacist primitivism. And so, it's fairly important. That's my honors thesis is also very personal. I mean, that's why I love your work, because one of my ex-friends is under a federal indictment for being in the Capitol riots, and he's an
Oh,
artist. Yeah,
wow.
which makes it interesting because, like, okay, you think, okay, heavy metal singer, okay, that's a likely candidate, right? But visual artist, really? Like, and for me, I really wanted to explore that because I know him, and I've known him
Yeah.
since 1998. And when you know somebody that long and you have a falling out, then I feel like I can really talk about the Capitol riots from an usually personal yet philosophical and public angle.
Yeah.
And it's fairly important because he and I just diverge completely. I've become much more, leftist, as I gotten older, and he's gotten obviously way more conservative, and I haven't seen him since 2010. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, didn't realize he was going to get involved in like white supremacy. I mean, I knew he voted for Trump because on Facebook he advertised that, but I'm actually not on Facebook anymore because,
Yeah.
uh,
Probably for the.
politically because of the, the suppression of like Palestinian rights, which
Yeah.
I'm also involved with that too. So it's just there are so many things I'm trying to do that aren't gallery related.
Oh,
But
damn. You're a busy guy.
well, no, I think I really like doing stuff. I wish I'd go to San Francisco. Actually, I just found out today my honors thesis. She's actually going with her partner, and they're headed up to San Francisco. And I told them, yo, they gotta check out. Well, there's actually a new Nam June Paik retrospective at SF MoMA, but also just as important for me is Charles Gaines, whose work is actually now in a important landmark exhibition, museum exhibition, because it's interesting. It's about the Dred Scott case, and it's like
Oh, interesting.
Charles Gaines is just brilliant. I'm sorry, and it's unfortunate people
Yeah.
don't know who he really is. Like, I wish he were
Yeah.
better studied.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't even know too much either. So,
Oh,
yeah,
he's
I gotta
very,
actually.
very conceptual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So what so are you guys both in the same school, or how do you guys know each other, Bryce and
Oh, I'm gonna tell
Albert?
Yeah.
Bryce to tell the story.
Yeah. So we're both at the U of U, and I first
Okay.
actually like semi met Albert in an online seminar class for art history. Um, but of course, online isn't the same. So I just like had an acquaintance with him, but then my other friend, who's also on the team here, Alexis, um, she was working at the museum, and Albert was talking to her, and then she kind of like joined in and referred him to me, and then we both just kind of joined, and that was also like right when the the gallery space kind of exploded, because we just had these little like phone booths at first, and it was going to be
Yeah.
like a very just pop-up-y kind of um, really laboratory experimental thing. And then we like just ended up getting the 6,000 square feet on Albert, just kind of going to dinner and partnering up with the restaurant owner. So he was like, well, now I got all this space. I definitely need some people. So he was like, get some fellow U students and let's do it, you know. So here we are now,
Yeah.
like lots of exhibitions lined up, and it's been like really good. So
Yeah, but it's a
Nice.
lot of work to. By the way, I'm gonna
it
let
is.
you two talk. I have to call my mom. She just had me on the phone.
Yeah, no
So one moment.
No
Sorry.
problem.
Okay.
So, yeah, Bryce, so that's pretty cool. So you have so the space was originally phone booth, you were saying?
Yeah, so I mean, we still have that available as an option, but it's in our co-working office called the Cone. Um, and so it's just kind of like there's a ton of tech companies and different software people and administration, just whoever, whatever companies and stuff need to buy space. And so we're in there. We just have a couple desks there, just so that we have our own like workspace outside of the gallery as well. But they have these little phone booth things, and so sometimes we like do little pop up art things in them. Like Albert's installed some photos in there before and different things like that. So
Nice.
we still like will use them if artists want them. Uh, and actually, I think we're gonna try to do some little like installation in one of them soon with some of the artists' artwork that's been turned into uh, little kitschy kind of commodities like pillows and socks and blankets and different things like that.
Nice.
So we're gonna
That's
kind of like mess around with that idea of commodification and stuff.
that's cool. That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah. So like that's gonna be super fun. But then we have our restaurant area too, which is nice. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of variety now to do lots of things like group shows and have a lot of artists and everything like that.
So, so how's the art scene out there in Utah? Do you guys have a lot of people working there, or what's up? What's going on over there?
Um, I mean, I think that it's definitely getting better. It's not nearly as big as like a lot of cities yet, but
Mhm.
I think the art is gonna start exploding since we have so much tech, and I think it might turn to be hopefully like San Francisco,
Yeah,
because once they had like Silicon Valley and stuff, um, like maybe 5, 10 years after that, art really started like blowing up. And so I think it's going to do the same thing here because we have an influx of like tons of people moving here. Diversity is starting to get better. Um, so it's still like predominantly white here, but it is definitely like I've lived here my whole life. So it's definitely getting like more progressives as we like keep moving forward, which is good. Um, but yeah,
that's
so it's
good.
just it's interesting. It is
That's
an
good.
interesting place for art, but things are definitely growing. So where that's kind of one of the points of keeping this space here, even when me and Albert like go away for a little while, we'll still like try to do shows here every few months, maybe or something, you know.
Yeah,
Um, because it's needed, and we're hoping that if we start this, then it will continue that chain reaction to start
yeah,
growing more galleries, more people, because we don't want to wait as long as San Francisco did for a art boom. We want to get it rolling now so that
yeah, yeah. No, sure.
And,
I mean,
and
think about how hand in hand art and tech is. It's
yeah.
I got a iPad, one of the iPad Pros, and it was I needed a new computer, like a new editing like computer, like so I got this thing, and just because of how versatile it is, like it's for drawing, um for for 3D modeling, for all of my artistic needs, this thing could do. So I mean, it goes hand in hand. So I think it's going to be even sooner than you think. That boom that you guys are going to have, especially if tech companies are moving in. It's only a matter of time.
They call down south of Salt Lake, at Point of the Mountain, where like Thanksgiving Point and Lehigh is. It's called Silicon Slopes now.
Oh, really?
There's nothing but tech companies all up on the like kind of bench and hillside of the mountain and stuff. So yeah, we've got our own little tech industry that's like booming crazily.
Wow.
But it's nice as well for art because we're starting to get a lot of cool printing things and stuff. I don't know if Albert told you, but he's been messing with the UV printing and stuff. So it's like it's nice that we have
actually we also
that
do
tech base
too, but
yeah, because it's nice that we have that tech base because then we can like there's a lot of people that are doing printing and different like imaging and stuff like that, and they're all like using new products because we're here and Salt Lake's tech oriented, so they're gonna try it out. So it's nice for us because we're like, cool, we have access to all this stuff. It's nice.
It's exciting. So, do you guys how does that UV printing work? Is it just like a normal inkjet? Are the results like a normal inkjet print or?
It's actually different. So actually, it looks more painterly. Actually, UV printing is actually used by painters, like highly experimental painters. It's actually a 4-color process. So I have to convert everything to CY MK. And it's, by the way, it doesn't print using UV light. That's people think that's that. No, it actually uses special 4 colors of special ink. The UV is actually flashed onto the substrate after the ink's applied to fix it. It's actually very photographic in that sense, unlike inkjet printing where it's just bound, basically. So there's no fixing in that sense unless you spray it, some sort of like protective thing. But inkjet printing is actually pretty resilient. Used to be you could just rub off inkjet prints, but UV is actually not the same look. There's a reason why I use it. It's because it's more painterly. And actually, I do paintings using UV printing, and I hope to, if I go to an MFA program, to combine digital and NOR process. I actually have a group show right now in New York. If you can hop by there in Chelsea. That starts. I think I send an email to everybody on the roster about it. But yeah, it shows you like the futures of like painting and technology that I'm interested in. And then I sent you just an email as well just a few seconds ago to check out like a new AI platform that's built for artists. And I think it might be interesting to see how photography, even in a traditional darkroom, can be combined with AI. Like actually, you can form digital negatives and then go and run the digital negatives to print into the darkroom. And that's what I've actually been doing. So digital transparency.
That's real. Yeah. So that's funny that you should mention that because last summer I was trying to get a UV exposure unit. I was trying to build one myself to do salt prints. And I ended up just like scrapping the project because I couldn't get it to work. But yeah, I mean the process was pretty much like a hybrid digital workflow and an old traditional workflow. So I'm like really interested in doing and like seeing how that develops in the future. Like being able to use both a digital and a traditional darkroom. That's pretty exciting.
Oh yeah. Actually, I've been building digital transparencies by, delivering edited Photoshop files to FedEx Kinkos, and then having them print onto like transparencies, and you can control some of the tonal range by because they use a laser printer, whether you could do a color or black and white. So if I want some really harsh like I'll put it in the dark room, then I'll print black and white for the transparency. But if you want more subtle gradations, then you ask them to print in color. Even if it's a black and white like negative, you can still print that in color, and it will deliver different results. But I'm going to be printing in the darkroom because I already finished 17 digital transparencies for this project, and we'll see how it goes. It's an experiment that is. I want a very harsh look because it's a juxtaposition between a 1937 Nazi photography magazine with alt-right organizations that exist down in Utah County. And so the juxtaposition is, yeah, I don't screw around. Like there is actually a conceptual basis, and photography is used to examine complicity and just the dangers of like political magical thinking. Because Utah is like it's an example of how split it is. Like people are either really open-minded, super nice, or people are just like malicious. Like last year I was almost like killed twice, because being Asian doesn't really, it's like moving target now,
Wow.
and it's gone really bad. So for me, it's like people are really super nice, or people are just absolutely like downright mean. Like I had Uber drivers that almost threw me out just because, they thought I was like causing infections and stuff like that.
Holy shit.
And then one person I got argument over guns, which that doesn't go well because I'm very much like a former epidemiologist whose specialty was injury and violence epidemiology. And I'm like, I don't like guns at all. And that doesn't go well with some people.
Wow, dude, I'm sorry. Holy shit.
No, don't be sorry. Actually, to be honest, it actually helps with my artistic praxis because until you actually I guess there's a Razcast rap song called The Nature of Threat. Until you understand that, then you really don't feel like you can really enable yourself to talk about it. But once you get to know those people, then it actually helps conceptually and emotionally. And that's why my project will have a lot of depth because, these people I know, and have met. I don't know them personally. I probably don't ever want to know them on a personal level, but it's just, and the thing is like anti-blackness is such a huge thing that is so subtle. And I actually am trying to, apart from Crenshaw's important essay that defined CRT studies, there's so many books now, which is really nice. Like Kendi's book is really pretty awesome. And hopefully we'll get a lot better visibility for like race issues, but also, that's very heavily tied to socioeconomic stuff too. I mean, a lot of like reasons why like the term socialism is used so terribly incorrectly is because of race. It's actually coded racial, like racial hatred as well as like white privilege and white supremacy. So they don't understand, like none of them have red marks. I mean, they're just batting around just random words. And it's just like the dissociation as Baudrillard says that. I mean, that's why Trump can get away so loud because he's an Trump is an artist. I mean, yes, a con artist, but also like an artist of rhetoric. Like he actually, if you look at his hand gestures, someone's got to like do an art project because they're similar to like the autocrats of
like
how
a conductor.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I swore he may have watched because Hitler, if you look, actually, there's some footage of like Hitler practicing in front of a mirror, like, and he's orchestrating. Like they have some documented photograph. Like he's an orchestral conductor, and Trump does that. I mean, he has his own secret signs that are unique, but you definitely know, like he will cue up like white supremacist like gestures subtly, but but because you're so busy looking at his face, you got to look at the hands. The hands are actually, for me, more indicative than the wrenching of like Trump. People like memes of his face. Really, is his hands that do a lot of talking. Actually, the way I actually got to look more into that is because I'm a huge hip hop fan. Like I study like semiotics of hip hop. In hip hop videos, the hands are crucial. Like the lips and the hands are the two things in hip hop that I observe very closely. Like Nas doesn't talk the same way like Busta Rhymes, and I do like Busta Rhymes.
Right.
He's great, but it's like, how do you understand the semiotics of Busta Rhymes? See, people don't talk
Yeah.
about that, and I think that's very important, and that's why I think like hip hop is like very important. It's a little bit, it's a very sad because I think hip hop's worship of like Trump is they just got too involved with just the
Yeah,
rise,
with the
the self-made mythology and just that masculinity. But I think a lot of them have now just realized, nope, that's not a good thing. So I think that there's now a good decoupling, hopefully, from that mythology.
sure.
So, but it's
Yeah,
just
dude.
really interesting. We could sit and talk about this all day.
Yeah. I mean that it also sounds like a really interesting project you're working on. So when you're
I got
done.
too many projects. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But,
It sounds
anyway,
awesome.
so yeah, what can we do to be supportive of your studio practice? I know you said you were going to send some stuff here, which I think I sent you like the shipping address or something. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Anyway, it's probably with the email. But apart from that, is there anything we can do to help out, or like you have something that you need?
I would just need to buy material for printing, but other than that, I don't know how if you guys could help.
What's your budget that you need, like in terms? Like
So
what do you specifically need?
So it's just I keep the chemistry and like supply side like relatively low because not low but simple, just because the nature of darkroom printing could get really expensive. So
I'm not going to
I
comment. It's expensive on
yeah.
my end.
Yeah, so I just use like normal developer stop fix and then my darkroom paper. So I need to like invest in that anyway because I'm starting school soon. So
Oh,
it'll be
cool.
good
Where are you
yeah.
going to?
I'm going to SUNY New Paltz for photo, MFA for photo.
Oh,
So
congratulations. Well, please send us
yeah,
emails of detail
Awesome.
because we want to list that as part of the artist news that you're going to that.
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
anything that you're doing is pretty cool. Congratulations, really. And
Actually, yeah, thank you. I actually have a few things I could send you guys. Yeah.
and the MFA is a smart idea. Actually, do you know a guy named Aaron Turner? Have you ever seen
I
his
do
work?
know Aaron. Yeah, I
Oh,
was
he's
actually in a group. Yeah, Aaron's a
love his
cool
work
dude.
too. Black Alchemy. I'm huge in
Yeah,
that.
I
But,
his work is pretty. It's interesting being next to it. Like seeing it. It's like the guy is like a fucking professional. It's like he prints. If I remember correctly, the prints are like relatively.
oh, sorry, it's kind of laggy.
They're almost 3-dimensional. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. His work is really 3-dimensional, even though it's 2D. It's a photo, but it's
But you know what?
yeah.
I mean,
He's a good guy.
well, that's what Cameron Lasuda talks about. I mean, actually, I gave a copy to Bryce because he needs it to write. But the idea of the 3-dimensional photography, photography's relation to death or memory and that presence. And Black Alchemy is really cool. Actually, one of my favorite artists who's, in my opinion, highly underrated is Adam Pendleton. And the idea of like black as color, cultural construct, just also it's interesting, like black that is like doesn't have the racial connotations that's decoupled, say like Black Square, like Malevich's famous painting. But wait a minute, could you maybe transform that into like critical race theory? I mean, no one's ever really looked into that. But what happened if you did? I mean, and I want to do those explorations in MFA. I mean, it's tough because the question is, I'm Asian American, So, but I have more of a vibe with like Afrofuturism, like African American culture. So the question is, there's going to be limits on what I can explore, but I know like with hip hop, I can work with the syncretic parts. But there's just some things I can never talk about, because I'm just, I'm not African American. I'm not, I didn't grow up. I mean, I can talk a lot about Asian American culture, but Asian American hip hop, there's actually have always been a link as well, particularly for marginalized Asian populations. That just because even amongst Asians, there's just such a great variety of experiences. So,
Yeah.
But
yeah,
but yeah, if you go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, if you do need anything for supplies, we can try to do like some fundraisers. That's why I was trying to do this print idea of like us doing the printing using UV on Sintra, but I have to look and see how it looks because those
Yeah.
are black and white. So I will have to show with the zoom again, and I'll just pull up like what I did because these are all
Yeah.
experiments. I have no clue what's going to happen. So, I mean,
You
we're
know,
one of the very few galleries that experiment. Like we just don't know. We're like we don't just simply show work. We like to be involved in the process because we're a laboratory. So we just don't know what we're going to come up with. You know.
I want to try. So, because you said it's painterly. Actually, give me a sec, guys. Hold on.
Yeah.
So the last project, the project I was working on last year, I kind of wanted it to. I wanted to do the salt prints with that body of work because of the salt prints kind of painterly like nature when it's printed on
Yes.
the I forgot the kind of paper it is. It's like a nice thick heavy weight paper, and so this process seems kind of perfect for that. So if you guys don't mind, I could send some of that.
Actually do send those, but the thing is it's only painterly because of the substrate that we print on. If we did it on Sintra, it would just look like a normal commercial photograph. So
Okay.
the thing is, we are going to choose a substrate which is canvas, and I showed Bryce. I mean, you thought they were pretty dope, like
Oh, I thought they
the
were
two
so
things.
cool.
Yeah, I
I
mean, we're
liked
gonna have to
how
do like a Zoom con.
yours was
Bryce walks
that a
on.
canvas though? Because it was wood panel, but what was
Yeah,
the
those are
little...
canvas that mounted on wood panel.
Okay, and then they put it on the wood panel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That they look
Which
so
looks,
cool. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
And those are not my images, by the way, Bryce. They're part of the collective. I won't say who
Yeah, I
in the
saw
collective
that.
did those, but I did not make them. That's all I'm gonna say.
But no, it
So
was so cool. I actually like that you can still see the materials like slight bumpiness in it.
yeah, and I want to do your.
I don't know,
actually
it
want to
looks
do
so
your
cool.
work first, Roger. Really, actually, as soon as you get
Thank
me
you.
those files, I
Yeah,
want to actually prioritize yours because you're probably going to be the first person of the 5 in that portfolio. But some of them are going to take a little longer. Like Jenny, she's a Russian Jewish photographer. She went to School of Art Institute of Chicago, but right now she's working with immigration stuff because she's trying to, leave Israel to be in the U.S. permanently.
Oh wow.
I think
Okay.
it's kind of hard because Israel's like getting much more. It's kind of weird because Israel's becoming way more like right wing than Trump, obviously.
It's
And
really
we don't
kind
actually.
of scary.
It's very scary, but it's kind of like other countries are doing that issue too. Like, look in France where they're just like ripping, hijabis, hijabs off women now. It's just they don't care. Like if you're not secularized, you're not like human. But it's like
Yeah. Oh yeah. In France, right? And it's
yes,
illegal to wear it out publicly, I think.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They're trying to outlaw it. Actually, if you're interested in African culture in France, La Haine, which is Matthew Katsouatz's movie, is very awesome
Great
about
movie.
that topic. Yes, I love that movie, but it's sad.
Very.
It's actually
Yeah.
those tensions are gone even worse than when the movie came out. But it's crazy that film tends to be very prescient on these issues. But yeah, is there anything we can do? Like, when do you enter your program for your MFA? Is it this fall or next year?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, the dog knocked down the door.
Oh yeah, we won't do that.
Yeah.
Are you entering this fall
Yeah, this fall.
for your Oh, cool. Yeah. Do you mind like keeping us to tabs on like what goes on in your program?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
just in case you need shows done, we can do that.
Yeah.
And then if you want printing done, well, I mean, we could do darkroom printing, but ideally, I would think it's better for you to do it yourself. I mean, I know how to do darkroom printing, but it's just. But I think with these very experimental processes with photography, like UV printing and jet printing, we can handle that, and that makes it cheaper. And I'm already doing it, so I might as well. And your work doesn't need to be like ginormous. Like you like your work just being at a very intimate level, which is important.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure to respect that.
I mean, but it's up to you. I kind of welcome the experiments,
Well, I
like
don't know.
whatever.
Like
Yeah.
the first thing I'm not going to care is like size. I'm just going to get a bunch of wood panels from Dick Blick that already have the canvas, and I'm actually not even getting the cradled version. I'm getting like the flat board because for photography, you don't need a cradle. If it's a painting, it's probably need a cradle, but the photography is just going to be flat. I'm just going to run that with my collaborator for the UV printing, and we'll see what we come up with, and I'll show you the results.
Yeah.
So
It sounds exciting.
oh yeah, but yeah, new class is going to be really, really exciting too. Do you know like your classes and all that you signed up?
Yeah. So I'm gonna do. So I got a TA award, so I'll be teaching.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. I'll be teaching. So I'll be coming up with a curriculum this semester, so the fall, and I think in either next spring or next fall, I may be. So I'll be teaching a class, so a basic photo class, I think. But I think I'll learn more about that once the semester starts. I actually got an email from one of the professors, and I have a early assignment where I'm going to just bring in 50 images, and I got to read over the requirements, but sort of to get our minds working on our project and what it's going to be. I'm always thinking, like, before I started my MFA, I was always thinking that it would take a while to finish, but the more and more I get closer to the start date, I'm like, holy shit, I only have 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna go by like nothing. Yeah, it's gonna fly.
Also being with a gallery will help because we can meet, talk, and then Bryce is an art historian. I mean, he's going to have a lot of experience. Like his practice is going to change in years too. And actually, if he's out there close by, he can help you develop like a lot of those theories. Actually, Bryce is very strongly leaning towards African art as a specialty. So he might be able to bring cues of like some of his anthropological background and be able to talk to you about it. Like we're not just like simply here to like represent. We want to actually
doing a degree in anthropology too.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, I've got a dual degree actually.
Nice.
Which
so
is killing me.
Well,
so, wait, what was the second degree, Bryce?
Anthropology.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it goes really well.
That's a lot of work.
Extremely useful.
Yeah. 100%.
It is, but oh my gosh, it's so useful.
Yeah, no kidding. Because a lot of our artists are visual and cultural anthropologists.
Yeah.
It's just
it ties in with
really
photography. Interestingly. Yeah.
The archive. I mean, actually, to be honest, anthropology has been abused as well. That's what eugenics is all about. It's anthropology, a very dangerous anthropology. But it's just, that's why it's good to know about anthropology, like, in my opinion. But I'm excited. I mean, if there's anything we can do to be supportive. I mean, 50 images is a lot. I mean, are you going to just like whip out a photo book at this rate?
I guess. I don't know. I'm always photographing, so I'm it doesn't feel too bad. It actually feels really good from last year, and like I didn't produce. I wasn't working as hard as I normally do, so it'll be nice to get the noodle working again,
Oh yeah, that'd be great. But also, some people, to be honest, I do a lot of photography work, but I also changed my art practice a lot last year. So like I shifted away from documentary towards construction.
Oh, I think I lost you guys.
Oh, sorry. I shifted from.
Sorry.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry. I shifted. There's a bad storm here. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. We sometimes have router issues here at my place, but it's just like I shifted a lot from like documentary to constructed work. And actually that's very crucial because I made a lot of breakthroughs. That's why I sent you that link to like Playform, because it could be interesting if you could combine AI constructed photography with darkroom. I mean, who knows what you come up with? Maybe you come up with like the ghosts of Afrofuturism. I don't know. I mean, these are just interesting ideas that you just never know. I mean, you got like there's all sorts of exploratory tools, but I'm just really excited. If there's anything we can do to be supportive, actually, we're one of the very few galleries that do a lot of emphasis on like people that are in the middle of their MFAs or haven't even started MFAs, because I think it's very important to have that dialogue. And also MFA students need places to exhibit too, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and to have feedback, to really nurture. And to be honest, artists, you know, I'm a practicing artist, so it's always great to, you know, ideas just bouncing around, and you know,
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting. So,
Yeah, I'm really excited. So I'll keep you guys up to date. Anything that I'm doing and any projects.
I think that's important. We'll list on the news too, because we have a gallery news. But some artists are just so busy they forget to send us info. So I have to like drag like the info or talk to them. I actually, to give an example, like one of our artists is actually going to be at the Whitney ISP this fall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we are going up in terms of like where we're at. But the thing is, I want to be very democratic too. You know, even if one artist is doing that, I still like to bring, say, like your work next year, potentially to an art fair, or combine it with another established artist. I mean, there's all sorts of pairings I want to work with. It's just we'll see how this goes. You know, so
yeah. It's exciting stuff, guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think the storm is getting pretty bad, so I may like end up cutting out on you. So maybe, would you mind
if yeah, we probably can wrap this up. So yeah, all you need to do is send me like a Google Drive photo and then high-res images, and then as soon as those come in, I'm going to get those materials.
Awesome.
I actually am budgeted because I have a lot of 3D printing, so I'll just combine those, you know, in my same trip. And then Bryce, Bryce is also going to be helping too. Oh yeah.
I love that so much.
Thank you again, honestly, for me.
Yeah, no problem.
So good.
Thank you.
And then
I can't stop looking at them.
Good luck. How many classes are you taking before we go this fall? Is it 3 classes usually
I'm
for the
taking
workload?
So there's 2 classes that I'm taking a total of 5. There's 2 classes that I feel like go in kind of in tandem. From what I understand, like the work isn't as like tedious too. So for the 2 classes, so I can actually take them both at the same time. So from what I gather, it's like the work will be, if you can imagine, for probably about 3 or 4 classes. So I'm going to be busy, but I don't think it's going to be, I don't think I'm going to be kind of too swamped, you know?
Okay, that's fine. Cool. Yeah, no rush. If there's anything we can do to help out, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And
thank you, guys.
I think the most important thing is the first year should be like a lot of thematic and materials exploration. And then next summer will be like trying to consolidate your thesis show. I don't know if they require written thesis. Some programs do and some programs don't, but we'll figure something. We'll discuss more of them. But yeah, just send us all these images and then I have to play around. I'm going to show you the results. So whether or not you like them, we'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I think it's going to be good.
Thanks again.
All right, guys.
Yeah, and we'll talk to you soon.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, Bryce.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.